So normally I have this long opening that some people think is annoying and some people don't think it's annoying, but I wanted to jump right in with this video. This is massive. Tetsuya Nomura did an interview. I want to go over IGN's breakdown of it because I feel like they took some of the bigger moments of it, okay? I'm sure we can go and look at the actual interview as well, but this is big. To me, big stuff. So Kingdom Hearts, I'm just going to read it from here and we'll go over kind of what the heck he's talking about. Because it is, I mean, we all think he's going one way, as you have seen even from the videos I've done, right? We think he's going to go in a certain direction, and then all of a sudden he pulls a 180 and says stuff like this, where it's like, wait, what in God's name is he actually doing? Kingdom Hearts creator Tetsuya Nomura, madman, genius, all that stuff, has said that he wants to tell a new story within the universe and drastically change the Kingdom Hearts world, but also tie up the loose ends left by previous games. As part of a I'm not even going to try it. As part of something interview to promote the launch of Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory, Nomura answered some questions about the future of the franchise. As translated, Nomura's response when asked about the unsolved mysteries following the release of Kingdom Hearts 3, in which there are many in 2019, is interesting. And this is what he says. I intend to tie up remaining loose story ends, but also want to change the format a bit. I want to drastically change the world and tell a new story, but also tie up loose ends. This suggests that while a new Kingdom Hearts game may address those loose threads, a wholly new game may be in the works, perhaps drifting away from the actual main focus of Sora and his friends. This was already teased in Kingdom Hearts 3 with the introduction of certain new characters and worlds, especially in the Remind DLC, which launched in early 2020. As for whether the game, and this is big too. This is big. I want to talk about this big time, but I want to talk about the first thing, first. But let's read this out loud. As for whether the next game will appear on next gen, Nomura said the following. If we make a Kingdom Hearts game for next-gen consoles, yeah, you little teaser, it's going to be released after many other companies have already released their titles, so I believe we'd have to make something that would compete. Of course, that's only a hypothetical since we haven't announced that there will be a new title for PS5 or Series X. Nomura also said that Xehanort may not feature as the main story antagonist in future encounters, though his influence on the narrative will still be seen. He also mentioned that the team behind Kingdom Hearts is working to deliver good news about the franchise for the series' 20th anniversary in 2022. All right. I mean, what kind of goddamn answers were the and I don't mind, this is not a mean video. I'm not going to attack the guy. I am going to poke fun at him though, because my dear Jesus, what is going on? All right, so let's break this down. So he says, I intend to tie up remaining loose story ends, but also want to change the format a bit. I want to drastically change the world and tell a new story, but also tie up loose ends. So the loose ends, to me, I feel like it's just getting Sora back. I mean, there are a lot of loose ends, I guess, but in reality, Kingdom Hearts 3 did wrap up, like, a fair amount. When he says, like, it ended a Xehanort saga, it did. Like, Xehanort was the guy behind it all. But we also know the Master of Masters, and we also know the Ancient Key. And again, these are all things that have been, and that's why I don't understand what the heck he's talking about. Like, he wants to tie up the loose ends that he's developed through all these games. But to me, and see, he doesn't say that specifically. The way, it could just be a translation. It could be just the way he answered questions. But to me, the tying up loose ends, honestly, I feel like is just getting Sora back, because that's a loose end. That's something that wasn't solved at the end of 3. Or basically like getting him and Kairi with the group, because they can never both be with the group, right? One of them has to be missing in some form. So to me, that's the loose end. The other stuff, the black box, what the heck Maleficent is doing, all of these different things, they're all things that are loose ends, but I feel like are part of the next phase of the story. What I don't love is I've seen, so this is IGN doing it. I think they did a pretty solid job with even the title. I mean, the title is a little scary or a little odd, but I've seen other ones going kind of crazy with different stuff, and maybe it's just how they have interpreted his answers. But to me, that's what I think the only thing it means. The other thing is I want to drastically change the world and tell a new story. I feel like we can all figure that one out. To me, if you really want to drastically change what Kingdom Hearts is, what would you do? What did I talk about actually like 2 or 3 videos ago? You drop the Disney worlds. Doesn't mean you drop Donald and Goofy. Doesn't mean you drop Mickey. Doesn't mean you drop Disney Worlds in general. I know, I saw your guys' comments. Disney literally owns this. Disney has a huge stake in this. It wouldn't be Kingdom Hearts without Disney. I get it. But Nomura has spoken, and Nomura is the god, of Kingdom Hearts. So, no, I mean, in all honesty, I think Disney Worlds will stay, but I really do think they're going to take a back seat to what the plan is going forward, which is the fictional worlds, the game worlds, the Final Fantasies, the other Square Enix things. That's what I think they're going for. I really do. And even... I mean, it's difficult because Marvel, like if you went with Avengers and stuff like that, if you went with Star Wars, which I was planning on talking about one of those two things, I probably still will over the next coming days. I think those things will happen. But those are Disney. I mean, factually, those are Disney properties. But I don't know, they're not. When you think of the Avengers, you think Marvel first, and then you have to think after that, oh yeah, that's Marvel is owned by Disney, or Marvel is underneath the umbrella of Disney. So maybe that's all he means, but to me, I really do think this signals a big departure from Disney stuff and going towards, other stuff. Also, if you think about it, yeah, I mean, if you're drastically changing the world and telling a new story, well, you've been telling a Xehanort story forever, right? That's pretty much always been the plan. Just again, I mean, like they said, for his narrative is gonna be in the future stuff. That makes sense, especially because of the ending, with the chess pieces of Kingdom Hearts, at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3. It makes sense that there's still gonna be some stuff, woven in there. But to me, it does mean, I think, a shift to, hey, did you play Union Cross? Did you watch the cutscenes for it? Do you know who the Master of Masters is? Do you know who the other, his disciples or his apprentices that he abandoned, right? All that stuff. Do you know all that stuff? Because you better know all that stuff, because that's where we're going. That's where I see with that. The next part of it is, them talking about like it would go away from Sora. I mean, Nomura, I think himself has said, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure you guys have told me this, that he has said that like Sora is Kingdom Hearts. I saw a lot of people agreeing with me that they also think the Master of Masters is some sort of like Flash version Sora, right? Where it's just Sora from an alternate universe or him aged or whatever. I saw a lot of that. I'm not going to dispute that because I do think that's probably right. So again, I think Sora is a massive part. I don't even think he means that. I really think all he means is we're probably going to eliminate some Disney characters, and not like, again, Donald, Goofy, Mickey, but we're going to eliminate some of the worlds. And we will have games that don't focus entirely on Sora. I mean, look at Melody of Memory. I mean, yeah, it was a recap game, so Sora was in it, but the driving cutscene, like moving the story forward, was Kairi. It was all, I mean, there was Riku in it, there was other characters in it, but it was Kairi. Kairi was the main driving force. And when you go forward, I mean, again, like going into Yuzora's world, going into Verum Rex, I mean, you have Yuzora. You have, now, which if he is like an alternate version of Sora just in a video game, right? But you have Riku. So you're going to have characters that are more than just Sora, and you still have the Birth by Sleep cast, and you have Mickey doing thing with the Ancient Masters. So again, you're spreading everybody out and you're introducing all of these characters. Yeah, of course, it's not just going to be, so you can't have the game be 1000% on Sora, because eventually it gets older, it gets stale, or whatever, right? Final thing is, I saw an article go off of this, and this is what I really don't like. When he says about, the next-gen consoles, it'll be released after many other companies have released their titles, so I believe we'll have to make something that would be competitive. Of course, it's only hypothetical because we haven't announced it. I don't remember if it was Push Square or PlayStation Universe. One of them had said that their headline was like Kingdom Hearts wouldn't come till the end of the next PlayStation cycle. And I don't agree with that at all, actually. I don't agree with that whatsoever. I think we're going to literally get now maybe Kingdom Hearts 4, but I think we're, like we've talked about, right? Firstly, 2021, we will almost definitely get some sort of collection that includes Remind and Melody of Memory, along with all of the other stuff that's been in other collections, right? I think we get that. I think it'll also be a version for PS5 and Series X. So right there, the thing is broken. Secondly, he is talking about let's talk about a brand new Kingdom Hearts game. Okay, you do a new one. Again, we've talked about it. Do you do a remake? Do you do Kingdom Hearts 4? Do you do a spin-off game? Do you do Birth by Sleep 2? Whatever. You do that in 2022 for the 20th anniversary. it comes out on next gen. I mean, it flat out does. I think when he says many other companies are releasing their games, I mean, yeah, if you release a game even a year into next gen, how many companies have released a game in that time? Say 100 games have come out. There are some companies that make more than one game. Or if he's talking about publishers, developers, if he's talking about developers, okay, then there's going to be thousands of developers that probably release their game before 2022. That's literally just how it works. If he's talking about publishers, well, yeah, it's less, but it's still a lot of them. You know what I mean? So I do not read that at all. I don't want people maybe to get scared for the clickbaity kind of headlines that I've seen other people do. I mean, I respect those sites. I love Push Square. I love PlayStation Universe. I go on them all the time. But I don't read into it at all like that. I mean, literally, the next thing he said is 2022, we're going to have good news for Kingdom Hearts, which, I think ideally, and we can assume, means a new game. So literally within 2 years from right now, we'll have another Kingdom Hearts game. Whether it's immediately in 2022 with January, or whether it's maybe the same day as Kingdom Hearts 1, or maybe it's November because they like November with Melody of Memory. I mean, whatever they do, we're going to have a game within 2 years, a brand new Kingdom Hearts game. And so it would be on next gen. And that's not the end of the life cycle. That's 2 years in. The life cycle is, PS4, Xbox One was 7 years, okay? I don't think this one lasts 7 years. I think it's probably 5 or 6. Hopefully it's longer, so hopefully it is 6 years. But if you come out year 2 out of 6, that's not the end of the cycle. So I do want to make that very clear. That's not how I read it at all. I literally just think he means, and again, when you translate things, I mean, you do lose some of that nuance. I feel like all he's talking about is there's going to be competition because we're not releasing it. Like when Demon Souls just came out, there's no competition. It's the only PS5. It's a game that's on PS5 and only on PS5, and it's the only game that can say that. Godfall is on PC. Miles Morales is on PS4. No other game is just on PS5 but that. I guess Bug Snacks, okay? So there's a couple, but really Demon Souls is that only game. There's no competition. So all I think Nomura means is, hey, if we release a game in a year or two, there's not going to be we're not going to start off the generation. We're going to be in it when other games have already gone. So we're going to have to show, okay, we can't come out with a product like, hey, we just got this, we just figured out how it works, here's our game. No, everybody's going to be doing it. We need to show that we know what we're doing. You know what I mean? That's how I read it, okay? So let me know in the comments below, guys, what do you think? How do you read it? What do you think he means with the changing of the story and all that stuff? Do you think he just means going Master of Masters route? Let me know. As always, again, make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on so you know when all these videos go up. If you haven't noticed, I've been doing a lot of Kingdom Hearts videos recently. Got a couple other topics. Some of them are already recorded, actually. I was going to have one go up today, but instead I'm going to have this one. So we got more stuff coming up. As more stuff Kingdom Hearts related comes out, including games, I'll obviously be covering it as we have for the past 3 to 4 years. Thank you guys so much for watching. I truly appreciate it, and I hope to see you all on the next video.